The one constant on this boat that's been a pain in our ass is our tank senders. It started off with the port fuel tank that had a bad sender. It was caught on the survey. The less you know about a problem, the easier it is to solve, is kind of one of my sayings that I picked up along life, because I just thought, oh gee, it's just a bad sender, we'll replace that sender, it'll be fine. Well, I replaced the sender, still not working. I obviously had checked the entire wire run to make sure that we didn't just have a break in the line. That was fine as well. And then it was tracked down to a bad computer on our Volvo D6 portside engine. Fix for that, $3,500, which is insane. Join us on the Elli-Yacht as we realize our 5-year plan with the kids grown up, moved out, graduated from college. We take the dog, sold everything, and kitted out the boat so we can cruise the Pacific Northwest, all while living and working in the heart of Seattle. We were using the old-fashioned method of just using a sight stick. Put fuel on board. We've got a stick here that shows us quarter tank, half tank, 3/4 full on that tank, because it's a direct shot down from where the fuel fill is, and they're rectangular tanks, so it was no big deal doing that. But, well, not very elegant, especially when you're underway, and I don't know. I don't like things not working on the boat, so it was on my punch list to be able to solve. Now, being able to do that, there's some easy solves. There's 3 different types of senders that are out there. One is a resistive sender. That one generally has a float on the end of it. Most boats are outfitted that way. There's also ultrasound senders, which are pretty cool. They basically just send an ultrasound signal out down to the bottom of the tank, it shoots back up, and they're very accurate, super easy to put on. That was one of the big types of senders that I was thinking about going after. And then I found out the black tank senders for ultrasound, they can get guck on them, and they start giving false readings as well. They're the third option for tank senders is what they call a pressure transducer. So it looks like this. This is a Maritron solution. This is basically a transducer you can drop into the tank, and these are great especially for odd shaped tanks. It gets dropped into the tank, you have a gland that goes around it so that it has a nice seal, and you can just push these back to the back of the tank, and then you connect them to a pressure monitor. Now this one is the Maritron pressure monitor, and you just connect these senders to this monitor, and it goes to our NEMA network, and then we just configure that on our Maritron monitor. We'll set up a page that will have all of our tank monitors on our Ray Marine multifunction displays, and we'll probably put in a Yacht Device NEMA gateway, and what that'll help us do is we'll be able to see it on our phone and anywhere else as well. That's the solution that we picked because Blackwater tanks with these pressure transducers seem to do a pretty good job from all the reviews that I've seen. So we'll put that all together today. We'll be able to fix the port fuel tank and have a new sender obviously on the starboard side as well, so we'll just eliminate any future failure from any computers going sideways on us on that. We'll have a much more accurate black tank. So black tank senders, especially the resistive types, they just have floats on them, and what happens is they get gummed up, and the way that we deal with that is you have to take a rubber mallet and you smack it, and that seems to dislodge it, and it works for probably another month or so, and then it gets hung up again and you have to smack it again. We've used NoFlex, we've used all kinds of treatments on our tank to clean out the tank so that that resistive float sender works, but it only works for a short amount of time. Here's the good news of this entire project. It cost about $1,000 to put in this system by the time we're done. And that sounds like a lot of money, but when you talk about the computer that needed replaced on the Volvo D6 just to make the fuel gauge work, it penciled out. All right, so we disconnected the old sensors that were in there, and those were resistive. We were able to slide those out of the tank, and then we'll cap those off. Those go to the computer on the Volvo. This is the new transducer. So we've got the gland that now goes into the SAE 5-screw standard fitting. And then the transducer just drops to the bottom of the tank, and what we want to do is get it to slide to the back of the tank as much as possible, and then we'll run this gland back up and we'll tighten it off. And then we'll have our new sensors. And now this is the starboard side, so we've done the same thing. Threaded the pressure transducer down into the tank. And now we're gonna run the sensor wires up to the pressure sensor modules. These have a little capillary hose right at the end of them, and you don't want to kink those or get anything inside of it that's going to block that. That's how these pressure transducers work. So we'll make sure to take absolute care of that, make sure it doesn't get kinked or anything like that. These runs are only 16 feet, so we're going to end up having to put some 18/8 with some butt connectors on them, and then run the rest of the distance to the module.
This tank is gross.
Yeah. This is remarkably gross, though.
I swear you need a mask.
I should.
Because you're gonna get barfy.
I hope. Oh yeah, it's gonna be bad. Oh.
Oh.
All right. Okay. That's super gross. So it's the float that has the screen on it, but still stuff gets in there and jams it up. Okay, we're gonna save that because Katie, I think she wants to run an experiment on this. And then we'll put some thread sealant on this. We'll screw it in because it's that 1.5" MPT, and then we will bolt down the sender and shove the sender into the back of the tank. And this gross part will be done, and then it's just running the wiring.
It's dirty work.
Someone's gotta do it. First we need to thread the gland. Now that we have this, we'll get it ready to thread the gland tube. Put a little bit of tape on this to protect it. Perfect world, this is supposed to thread all the way to the end of the tank. Alright, I couldn't find a better box to throw everything away. But as a warning, this is not Lucky Charms, and there is a surprise at the bottom though.
Not a good one.
So gross. It's in a tight, knotted plastic bag, and it still stinks to high heaven.
We gave Katie the old sensor so she could do an experiment with some no-flex to see how that worked.
So they supply us with about 10 feet of lead on this, and we need to go 30 feet. Meritron said it's no big deal, and get some 18 gauge wire, connect that to this lead. Just make sure that we keep this vent tube protected and clear. So we're just gonna crimp these. We'll heat shrink them because they're gonna be in an area that will have moisture. And then we'll double these back over on themselves so we have no risk of bending that tube. We'll zip tie these together, put some split loom on them, and then we need to run this wire to the FPM 100 Meritron pressure module, and the poop tank will be done, and then we're done with all the projects. And then it's to programming the Meritron so that it sends the PGNs, or these codes, the individual channels, to the network. So our Raymarine multifunction displays, as well as the Meritron, as well as some additional gauges we're probably going to get to fill in the holes from the old analog gauges. We'll put those in, but it'll just be transmitted all across that.
We have our water tank and our black water tank that we need to calibrate. So we purchased a water meter which tells us exactly how many gallons is going through the hose. So you just attach it to your hose and it tells you exactly how many gallons of water you're using. It's designed for gardens and lawns, greenhouses, so you know exactly how much you're using so you don't overwater. We don't have a garden on the Elli-Yacht, but we are going to use it to calibrate our tanks today. So that is the next step.
So that's 20 gallons. And then I just come over here to the Meritron. Gallons. And so it goes to this next increment, and it's going to go through, and there's literally 16 increments, and I divided 16 into 70 gallons, which is what our tank is supposed to have, is 70 gallons. And so it should be about 4.5, a little over 4.5. So I'm just doing 5-gallon increments. And when I get to the point where we start getting close to the top, like 55 gallons, I'm going to open up the tank and just make sure that we're not overfilling it, because that's a problem obviously as well. And I've never verified the size of the tank, it's just what the spec on the boat is. So after we're done with this, because it's an irregular shaped tank, we'll know exactly how many gallons of poop that we have in our possession.
59. Katie pumping us out. Bring it back down to 0. We thought we had a 70-gallon tank. That's what the specs say, but it's only 60. We watched it and it got full. That's 60 gallons. 48 Navigator has a 60-gallon holding tank.
5-gallon bucket. There you go. We have a 60-gallon tank. I want my money back. I want my 10 gallons of poop tank. Oh well, now you know. So, now that we've calibrated both the waste tank and the freshwater tank, we now have a traditional gauge up here. You can program where they show yellow and red. And we also have how many gallons we actually have in each one of these tanks. Pretty slick setup. Now, if we click on this, this is what it was all about. Here is our fuel tanks. You notice I'm a little heavier on the port side. It's to even out the boat. I need to kind of do some weight distribution. Otherwise, yeah, we have a traditional gauge up here, as well as how many gallons we have in each tank. So that worked out pretty slick. The calibration for these rectangular tanks is really easy on the Maritron. You just show what the depth is, and it automatically just calibrates how many gallons you have in each one. You don't have to go through that painstaking incremental filling that you did on the tanks that are irregularly shaped. So it's a lot easier for that. Now, let's look at the rest of our gauges that we put in. Here are the new Video Veritron gauges that we did the unboxing on earlier. And they just dropped right in where the old gauges were. So you can see the percentage as well as a visual level on those gauges. That turned out pretty darn well. Okay, and this is what started this whole thing, is the fuel gauge on the helm. The port side now works. We have the same thing over here for the starboard side. More importantly, check this out. Now we're fully integrated into our multifunction displays from Raymarine. So you can see the fuel levels as well as, check this out, fuel flow rate. So when we're running the boat, it shows you the fuel flow rate for both engines, and then it shows you the nautical miles per gallon that you're burning, so you can really hone in on that sweet spot for your, your speed to your consumption. Did not expect to get that. That is a huge bonus. But wait, there's more. So since everything is now on the NEMA network, and so is our Victron systems, Victron has a pretty cool little UI on their Servo GX. Did an unboxing on that earlier as well. And this is one of the coolest surprises that I did not expect to get. As you can see, they have all of the gauges represented. You can look at them individually as well. So this is just the fuel and just the water and just your waste tank. But the cool part is, not only do they have the visual representation, they have the percentage, but they also have how many gallons. So this is probably one of the most comprehensive views that we have our tanks. And this just sits on an iPad. We also have the small touch screen over here that we have on our electrical panel that shows the same thing, but it's nice that you can keep it kind of mobile with the iPad. And then, check this out. It's got this cool overview as well that not only shows us all the consumption of power and charging and our amperage limitations from the shore, but look, over on the right-hand side, we have all the different tanks as well. Unfortunately, in this one, you can't see how many gallons you have, but it's a great overview. So what a huge payoff of putting all of these senders onto the NEMA network. It just shows up on all of our things. Well, I'd say that's a wrap. Couldn't be happier with this one. Peace.